Culver-Stockton College in Canton, Missouri holds an inauguration ceremony this morning to welcome its new president.
Instructors, board members, and students from the past and present attended the ceremony. WGEM's Joseph Lawler was in Canton this morning. So Joseph, tell us what the president's vision for the college is.
Daniel and Raja, this morning, Lauren Schellenberger was officially named president of Culver-Stockton College. She's been working at the college for the last 16 years, and she says she feels ready to take the next step. She says her focus moving forward is all about students. Culver-Stockton College gathered for the inauguration of their 28th president, Lauren Schellenberger. Members of the Board of Trustees, as well as a handful of staff members, shared remarks during this morning's ceremony, all touching on the promising future Culver-Stockton has under Schellenberger's leadership.
It's imperative that Culver-Stockton College has an outstanding president to lead the college through the unknowns of the future.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees, H.B. Turner, says that Schellenberger has shown herself to be an outstanding and dynamic leader. Turner shared that in May, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted for Schellenberger to be the next president of Culver-Stockton College.
How special it is to have one of our own homegrown leaders right here on campus to be considered as the president of the college.
Schellenberger says that she hopes to build upon the legacy of the school and continue improving and innovating for current and future students.
I'm hoping to build upon our current success when it comes to enrolling students of promise in innovative and relevant programs that really get them immersed in authentic learning.
She says by the end of her tenure, she hopes to improve the student experience, make enhancements to the campus, and increase student enrollment.
I'm also hoping just to get the word out about what an amazing place this is. Culver-Stockton is an absolute gem here on the Mississippi River, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows what we have to offer.
Schellenberger said that today was all about celebrating Culver-Stockton's history and mission as they continue to work for the future. Daniel?
All right, thank you, Joseph. And many other college and city officials also attended the ceremony, including Mayor Pro Tem Sharon Upchurch.